All right, welcome back to Politically Homeless. I'm Dave, and you're going to not hear this anywhere else, so clickbait away. All right, and I'm sure the internet won't care what I'm about to say here, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, technically and effectively, RFK Jr. has ended his bid for the presidency. Yep, he's done. He's not really running for president if he's going to pick Aaron Rodgers as his vice president or Jesse Ventura. Okay, now some of you might think those two guys are great choices. Uh, I look. I think we're just playing games, right? We're just goofing around. We're saying, yeah, this is our protest vote. We're not voting for Trump. We're not voting for Biden, but we're not really serious about winning the White House. Okay, then go ahead and vote for RFK Jr. There's a good chance you might elect, you could elect Donald Trump, right? So the Trumpers are probably like, yeah, man, go vote for RFK Jr. I don't know if RFK pulls more from Trumpers or from Biden. I don't really even care if he's serious about picking either one of these two people to run with him as a vice presidential candidate. So this article, and it talks about the New York Times reporting this. So my first take was, oh, the New York Times, huh? Well, they probably planted the story, and so it's on them, and that's why, people are just going to run away in the mainstream. And folks, you need normies, you need mainstream voters to support a third way. And there are a lot of people, like 70% of the country wants to vote for someone else. And we keep giving them reasons not to vote for someone else. And as much as I like RFK, he's already got issues, like personal issues. He's got communication problems. I'm the only person really saying that out here. And I've said that to good friends of mine who love the guy. I say, it's hard to listen to. He's hard to listen to. And this is going to be rough. He needs to get those thoughts out as quickly as he's able to think of something. He needs to be able to say it. And I'm not knocking him because he has a disability. I'm just saying presidential politics and communication. You need to be a great communicator to be president. Now, there are exceptions. Joe Biden is one of them. Donald Trump, even though the Trumpers think he's the greatest communicator that's ever lived, I'm like, really? Okay, whatever. But, you normally have people who can speak clearly. Before all of this, you had Obama, who is a fairly good public speaker. You had George W. Bush, who was kind of immense, but, he would butcher a few words here or there, but most of the time he was okay. You had Clinton, who was a super smooth talker. You had George H.W. Bush, who was a great communicator. And then you had the best of them all. You had Ronald Reagan, who really won the presidency on the strength of his ability to communicate. So RFK Jr. has a serious problem to overcome. And then you add on to that burning fire, that inferno, you put Aaron Rodgers and Jesse Ventura. Look, Jesse Ventura, interesting guy. Probably 10 years, 20 years ago, I would have said, yeah, this is kind of interesting. Maybe this will attract some people. But Jesse Ventura, by the way, is a raging atheist. Okay. I don't think RFK is, but Jesse is. And I think that would be a really bad idea because, you've got a godless party for the most part with the Democrats. You've got a Republican Party that is becoming more and more secular. And even though they talk about God and they use God in their speeches, and you then look at their lives, whether it's Roger Stone or Jason Miller, you're just like, you people are, wow, very hypocritical people. So I don't think picking Jesse Ventura, even though, if you want a good conspiracy theorist type ticket, that would be the ticket at this point. And believe me, I'm down with all of this stuff when it comes to COVID, but I also realize that right now I'm in the minority. So what can we get done? And what could RFK Jr. get done if he were the nominee? Well, there would be accountability when it comes to COVID from 2020 and 2021. But that's not the top of my list right now. Of course, if that stuff comes back, then, you know, all bets are off. I mean, I'll probably vote for RFK Jr. and a dog, like a puppy, you know, as vice president. But right now, I'm looking to win the election. And so you're not going to win with Aaron Rodgers or just Jesse Ventura. Like I said, 10 or 15 years ago might have been interesting. I think he's past his expiration date. I haven't seen him in quite some time. He was already looking really old a few years back. So we've got Trump, who looks old, and then you've got Biden, who looks even older because he is. And so I think the nation is looking for younger leadership in general. All right. And they're looking for a common sense platform. And I think RFK has some great ideas, but I thought this was the New York Times planting all this information. It came right from his campaign. And this is really surprising. So, you know, I was reading this and I'm like, okay, New York Times, right? Stephanie Spear, a campaign spokesperson, confirmed the report and said there are other names on Kennedy's short list. Well, she's confirming those two people, though, are being vetted right now. And so that's just bad news. Rodgers, the longtime Green Bay Packers quarterback, who now plays for the New York Jets, shares Kennedy's distrust of vaccine mandates, and more than that. And like Kennedy, is a fixture on anti-establishment podcasts. Kennedy says he has been in touch with Jesse Ventura since a campaign event last month in Arizona, according to the New York Times. However, Ventura's son reported to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that as of yet, his father has not officially asked or been asked to join Kennedy's ticket and would not comment on the report from the New York Times. Now, I'm looking at a picture of Jesse Ventura from May of 2023. And yeah, just another old guy with long hair, balding, but with long hair, what he has left. And I know the country is definitely looking for an off-ramp here. This isn't going to be the off-ramp to do it. I'm still going to hold out hope that the no labels unity ticket puts something forward that's better than Trump, that's better than Biden, and that's reasonable, and that the people are serious candidates. And yeah, they should be. I know people aren't going to like this, but they should know something about politics. They should know how to work in the system. I was going to say work the system, but maybe that too. And they need to be maybe names people recognize, but the name ID isn't as important as what their agenda would be. And I think many of us would get behind that and hold our nose in places because we're not going to get everything we want. And this is the key. Now, I'll do a video like this and people will say, Marxist, loser, communist, pedophile. They'll just put out all of this stuff like one Zionist. That's another good one. I forgot about Zionist, right? And so you're going nowhere. But what I've also come to understand is that that is a very small percentage of the people who are paying attention. And so what you have to do is decide, do you want to move forward or do you want to move left or do you want to move right or do you want to move nowhere? You know what I mean? And really, if the no labels thing fails, then maybe you cast your protest vote for Kennedy. Kennedy's not going to win a general election. He's not going to win with his running mate, Aaron Rodgers. It's just, maybe some people will go with that. Maybe the whole Trump thing opens up a new can of worms. because maybe from now on, people want name ID and celebrities over people who can do the job. We found that out in the Republican primary when Ron DeSantis got his butt kicked by Donald Trump. And it was said that Ron DeSantis was awkward and he wore boots and his wife looked like Eddie Munster and his family was annoying. All of these things, which were 180 degrees opposite of what was true. DeSantis, by the way, defending Florida from the Haitian cannibal population who are apparently on their way to South Florida. We'll see if they actually get here or not. As far as RFK Jr. goes, though, I think this effectively ends his campaign, at least his serious campaign for the presidency. He could still do quite a bit of damage and sway this election one way or another just by being on the ballot. People are fed up and they're upset and they want another choice. But how far are you willing to go to make that choice?